Hey, what's going on, everyone? Happy Monday. This is Bernie with CG Spectrum. Hope you guys all had a good weekend. It's surprisingly kind of cold this morning. It's been in the upper 90s for the last month, I think. But today I wake up and there's rain outside, which is unusual. It's been so dry. But yeah, it rained last night and it's kind of chilly this morning. Yeah. But yeah, today we're going to wrap this guy up. I'm just going to try a few more things with him. And then we'll do something else next week. Do you guys do anything cool this past weekend? I just went bike riding with my kids on the trail and just went swimming again. The usual summer stuff. We are planning a little trip to the beach, maybe even Legoland. Not sure when, but yeah, kids want to go out to the beach, so I gotta plan something. I just don't like going to the beach when it's super crowded. It's such a pain, like to park and all that stuff. So I gotta plan to go on a weekday, not a weekend. By the way, this is a hoodie that CG Spectrum sent over a while back ago. Thanks, CG Spectrum, sending this over. I didn't get to wear it until today, so but yeah, thanks. Again, for whatever reason, I got a large, but it's pretty small, man. I don't know what's up with these sizes. I should have gotten an extra large. Or maybe I'm just getting bigger. Getting bigger sideways. Oh, the other day, one of my neighbor's chickens came over to my yard. Like, I opened up the chicken coop and I'm like, wait a minute, that chicken doesn't look the same as the other chickens. And yeah, it turns out it was my neighbor's chicken. And it was hanging out with my chickens in the coop. But yeah, it eventually flew back to the my neighbor's house. We've been talking about getting a dog over the weekend too. Because we met up with some friends, and I think two of them, was it two or three of them, got dogs recently, and I got jealous. So we started talking about it. I'm like, I really want a dog too. We just held off because you know, we're just busy with the kids. We're like, do we really want to add more responsibility to the list? Because of that, we're holding off. But yeah, we'll see. We just started like talking about it more seriously now. Talking to the kids about it. If they're ready to take on the responsibility of having a dog. And we're trying to decide what type of dog to get, if we do get one. The kids want a husky, but I told them how much a husky sheds, and that their poops are bigger than a person's poop. And I'm like, are you sure you want to clean that up? And you could tell they were really thinking about it. They're like, Hey, what's up, Wing? Haven't seen you around here. Now I'm getting warm. Hold on a second. Alright, sorry about that. It was getting too warm. Yeah, my chickens are all... The chicken setup is all dialed in now. Like I have the water, their water all on automatic, all on auto basically. It's all automated, where the water fills up on its own through the drip system. I have a semi-automatic feeder where it's basically gravity fed. So I just load up, you know, their feeders. I don't think I have to replace or refill it. Or I think I have to refill it every other every month maybe. So it's pretty cool now. I don't have to like check it every day or something. See if they have enough food. So now that that's all set up and smooth, I'm thinking about getting other stuff. It never ends. And the chickens should be laying eggs in maybe a couple of weeks now. I read that at 18 weeks they're supposed to lay eggs. I think this is the 16th week. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know when we get eggs. Hey, Wing. Thanks. This is my kid's design. I'm basing the design off of my kid's design here. But Yeah, so I have 10 chickens, and those chickens are supposedly supposed to be laying about 200 to 300 eggs per year. And I know I can't eat that many eggs. So I was looking up how to preserve eggs. And there's this thing called water glassing eggs. That's what it's called. And you basically put mix pickling lime with water, and then you put the eggs into that basically into a large bucket or container with pickling lime water, and that preserves it for up to 2 years, I read, which is crazy. I never knew something like that existed, but I guess that's what people used to do back in the day. Yeah. And you just gotta store it at room temperature, I guess, or around like 60 to 70 degrees is ideal. Or 65 to 75. And then it could store raw, like, for up to 2 years. So I'm gonna try that out. There's like a Chinese version of preserving eggs. It's that I think it's called 1,000-year eggs or century eggs or something. I don't know. But I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about. It's where the egg white part becomes like gelatinous. It looks like Jello basically. It's see-through and transparent, but it's like a dark brown color. There's that method as well, but that one lasts maybe up to 4 to 5 months. And the process is way more complicated, so I didn't want to do that. Wing, do you do concept art? Wing says, no, I find it's too hard. What do you do then? Any kind of art? Hey, what's going on? Shashi? I haven't seen you around either. There's a bunch of new people today. What's going on with you, Shashi? You do concept art? Shashi says, I'm usually following up with animation stuff. This is first time for concept art. Cool. You do 3D animation? Or 2D? Cool, cool. Glad you're enjoying it. I'm just trying to wake up. I can't believe it just got, like, it went from cold to, like, hot all of a sudden. Or in the past, 20 minutes. .3D animation? Cool. What, if I could ask, what inspired you to get into 3D animation? Just curious to, you know, how people get involved with 3D animation. Oopsie. Oh no, that's right. I thought I messed up. Sashi says, I always thought it was some sort of magic. I wanted to know better about it and really loving it. Okay, cool. Yeah, it does look like magic, right, sometimes? When it's done right. Yeah, it's a pretty amazing what people can do with CG and all the animation stuff these days. Came a long way. You like the metal texture? Thanks, Sashi. By the way, yeah, I completely forgot what I was gonna ask. More coffee, more coffee. All I can do is laugh at myself. Oh, I remembered what I was going to ask you. So as an animator, right, when you look at the world, or you're just going about your day, do you always think kind of from an animator's point of view, where you see things and you imagine like how something would move and animate? Like for example, if you look at a cup or something, or a book, do you start imagining how that book would animate? Or like if it's a caricature of a book, right, where it's almost like taking on humanistic characteristics, right? Like, do you imagine that kind of stuff in your head? I'm just curious. Or like when you notice someone walking like in front of you, do you and they're kind of walking funny, or kind of, in a unique way maybe, do you like see that and like in your brain like exaggerate the movements, and you know what I mean? Like, do you imagine all that? Because sometimes when I look at people, I imagine them as like an exaggerated like character. Or like when I see different body types, right? I kind of get inspired by different body types too. Does that make sense? Not judging people, just saying, like, when I look at them, it's like, and I see someone more unique, it's like, oh, that's interesting. I look at people and I get ideas for monsters. I'm just joking. Wing says, I like drawing with pencil and paper. I'm so bad at Photoshop. Yeah, it takes time to get used to Photoshop. And it's never the same, of course. Pen and paper or pencil and paper is always going to be different. Yeah, I mean, I think almost everybody I've spoken to feels that way. But you can definitely get more used to using drawing in Photoshop. Oopsie, I did mess up. I was not paying attention. Ah, what am I doing? Good morning. Let's start this over. Wow. Even when I was trying to be careful, I messed up. I'm still dreaming, right? This is all a dream, right? How should I do this? Looks so different. Hey, what's up, Ibram? Hey, where are you all from, by the way? Ibram, where are you from? Sashi, where are you from? Wing. Just curious. I like hearing about where people are from and yeah, how things are like, where you guys are from. It's always fun to hear about that. Sri Lanka, awesome. But yeah, I've heard of Sri Lanka. My dad has been to, I don't know if he's been to Sri Lanka specifically, but he's been to India. I watch videos on YouTube from, like, you know, the people traveling to India, and, like, you know, videotaping everything, their experience there. It looks so interesting to me. I wish I could visit. like me personally, I like places where a lot of the old traditions or like ancient architecture still exists. That kind of stuff looks like interesting to me instead of everything looking super modernized. I like I like a mix of the ancient like or history and like old architecture and modern like a combination of the two. I like that. Seeing both. I watch, there's this guy that I watch on YouTube too, where he goes around India, well, different places, but I think it's mostly India, where he visits all the ancient like sites. And India has so many. It's like I never knew that they had that many, right? I knew they had a lot, but again, it's like there's so many different like religious, I don't know even what you call it. They're not temples, I guess, but something like that, like uh, different gods, right? Different like carvings of gods, like from like ancient stones, right? Like giant stone, um, weird like tales about aliens, right? Like weird stuff like that, like little people living in like these Stonehenge looking things. Anyways, all that stuff is super interesting to me. And like India believes like, well, sorry, back in the day that there were a bunch of like giants, right? Or gods or whatever you want to call it. Um, it's super interesting. Is the culture in Sri Lanka very different from you know, the main part of India? Is it very different, or is it are there a lot of similarities? Oh, the other the other reason why I wanted to visit India when I was a kid was because I read books about it and saw videos on people like just walking around. I forget the specific area in India, but they're just walking around like on a dirt path and they're just like semi-precious gemstones like in the dirt. You know what I mean? Like it's everywhere. So like people are walking all over it. And I'm sure that's just, you know, a specific area in India, but that made me want to go. I was like, dang, that's awesome. I want to look for gemstones. Anyways. If you guys heard me before, I always say like when I was a kid, I wanted to be like an archaeologist or something like that. Uh, so all that stuff really interested me. Sashi says, yeah, there have been giants. It's a legend. It's say Indian giant and Indian giants have fought back in the day. It's a legend at least. Yeah, that's what I heard. Like they split rock, like giant boulders and stuff like that when they're fighting, and All these crazy stories, yeah, like using some kind of electricity, right? I forget what they call it. Maybe I think they had a specific name for it. Like some kind of lightning electricity thingy. And they're flying around on stuff. I wish I could go back in time and see what really happened. Whoops. Sashi says Sri Lankan people are early descendants from India, but the cultures have drifted apart, but few essence remain. Sashi says, I meant to say Indian giants and Sri Lankan giants. Oh, interesting. Our stories say it's just super strength. Oh, India versus Sri Lankan giants, huh? Interesting. I actually think giants used to exist. I'm one of those weirdos that think that they existed in the past. There's too many stories, I think, that are giant related to ignore the possibility that giants existed in the past. A bunch of Shaquille O'Neal's walking around. Uh-oh. Sashi says there is a possibility. Rumors have piled up and made it unbelievable. Yeah, when you get people, crazy people talking about stuff, then it makes the truth less believable sometimes, right? Because there are those people who are crazy too, right? Maybe I'm one of them. But yeah, I get what you're saying. You got a big old belly. Sashi asks, where are you from? What's your story? Sorry if you've already gone over this. No problem. I'm from California right now. I mean, I live in California. I was born here. I did live in Korea for, well, about over 5 years. When I was in 3rd grade, I moved to Korea, stayed till I was in 8th grade, and then moved back here to California for 9th grade. Yeah. Yeah, Korea, well, can't speak for it now, but back in the day it was so different from the US. I moved to Korea during the Olympics in Korea. It was 1988 Olympics, Seoul Olympics. Yeah, so that's the time when Korea was really developing and changing a lot. I had a good experience. It was fun. Just very, very different. For some people, it'd be a horrible experience, or for some Americans, I would say, because of the cultural differences that I experienced. But I don't know, I was fine with. I mean, you get used to it. I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing, but you do get used to it. And I'm talking about where they'll physically hit you in school, the teachers, that is. They'll use like mop poles, or there was a teacher with a metal pipe. I know when you guys hear about it, especially Americans, when they hear this stuff, it sounds so crazy, right? Because they should all be in jail for what they've done if they were in America. But when you're in Korea, again, it's like a cultural thing. It's completely different. At the time, it was okay. Um, it was normal. So you just get used to it. And again, I don't know if that's a good thing, but that's what happens. But things, of course, have changed in Korea. You cannot do that anymore, where you cannot physically hit people in Korea anymore at school. Of course, that sounds so normal, but it wasn't back in the day. It was normal to hit kids. And some teachers took it to a different level where they go crazy. Start punching kids and kicking kids. But again, for me, sure, it was weird. Sure, I didn't like it, but did it like completely traumatize me? I would say no. My personality is more like adaptable. I'm good at adapting to things quickly or different cultures. Yeah, so my brother, on the other hand, hated it. He hated Korea in many ways. So yeah, his experience of Korea was completely different from mine. But I would say we all can agree that we learned a lot. Living in a different country, going to a different school system. It just shapes you differently, right? When you're able to experience a different culture for that long and to grow up in a different culture for that long. It gives you a different like world's perspective, right? Or worldview. That if I just continued to live in America, that I wouldn't have, right? I would just think it's all about, all I would know is America. And especially when you live in California, people in California don't know any other states. They don't care and they don't know about what goes on outside of California. Does that make sense? But it's kind of true to some degree. Not everyone, of course, but a lot of people, surprisingly. Sashi's asking, have you always loved drawing? Would you have gone to another path? Um, yeah, I got into drawing because I saw my sister, like I think she was in fourth grade. I saw her drawing dinosaurs and I thought it was super cool. So I started copying what she was doing. And then I watched Aliens and the movie Aliens and Predator. And those designs really inspired me. I thought it was just super cool how someone could create something that was so believable. Um, so that's kind of what inspired me to really get into creating like designs, right? Um, would I have gone another path? Possibly. I have a lot of like hobbies and interests. uh, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. That's hard. Like, I guess that's a hard question to answer, but I I like growing things like plants, trees, things like that. I'm really into all that kind of stuff. Like nature, I'm into nature. Um, so maybe could I have gone to like being a botanist or something? Maybe. I don't know. Um, all that stuff interests me though. Um, I'm into like animals too. Um, I thought I wanted to be a zoologist when I was a kid at one point as well. So yeah, who knows? Again, I would have been a archaeologist. I don't know. It's fun to think about it, I guess, or wonder, but yeah. What else is there? When I was in Korea, I had no idea what I wanted to do because I sucked at school. I barely knew the language. Like I didn't know anything when I got there. And my parents just dropped me straight into like a actual Korean school. It wasn't even a international school. And I did not know. I just knew how to say thank you, hi, stuff like that. Nothing else. It's probably equivalent to my Spanish right now. I only knew like some sentences, some words. That's it. So I sucked in school. I was maybe like I was in the mid-range, a little bit better than like the average student maybe, which is very surprising. I don't know how I got to becoming better than average. Um, but that's also how I drew. Like I drew a lot during the class. I focused on art. I think because I couldn't keep up with the academics. So that was kind of my outlet, right? Art became my outlet. I have that story of like when I was drawing in class, I got caught by my math teacher. And when you get caught like that in Korea, again back in the day, you get in big trouble, you get hit, right? So I was like, oh no. But then the teacher, like, he used again his mop stick. I still remember to move my my textbook, because I was drawing underneath my textbook. Like I put a piece of paper under my textbook and I was drawing. Like I would peek some of the paper out and start drawing, you know what I mean? And then the teacher came, used his mop stick and like shoved my book away to see what I was doing. And then he saw my drawing and he's like, wait a minute. He looked at it carefully and he's like, you're actually really good. Keep drawing. So I was like, yes! That was a win for all artists in Korea. He let me draw, he didn't punish me for it. So that was pretty a fun experience. You're actually pretty good. Keep drawing. The students in the class were probably super surprised by that. Because I was too. art was also kind of like therapy for me too. When I came back to the US, it was hard to adapt actually. It was hard. I think it was harder for me to adapt back into the US culture than when I went to Korea, because when you're younger, it's just easier. A lot of things are easier because your peers are not as they're more accepting, right, at that age. But the older you get, especially in high school, it's really hard to adjust and adapt into a peer group. And that's kind of what I experienced. It wasn't horrible. I'm not saying it was bad. It was just tough, like on me, like personally. So I think I turned to art for that reason too. Oh, and there's a lot of other things that, personal things I was going through at the time. So, yeah, I focused on art. And it helped me. It was an escape in many ways, I would say. And I think that happens to a lot of people. Or a lot of artists start off that way. Like it's your own creating like your own little world almost. What's up, Rafa? From Brazil. Oh yeah, that's another place I want to go. I want to go to Brazil. Go to the Amazon forest area. I want to check out the pyramids there, the Aztec pyramids. Or sorry, is it Mayan? Or both? Mayan and Aztec, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Sorry if I'm wrong. Hey, what's up, Sushi? Do I draw anime? No, I don't. I have so many interests. I have interest in drawing anime, I just don't have the time. I used to draw when I was a kid. I used to draw like Dragon Ball and what else did I draw? Shoot. I drew like little things here and there. There used to be like a comic book called IQ Jump in Korea, where it was like a combination of different manga from Japan, right? I think there's some Korean ones in there too, actually. But yeah, it would come out weekly, right, as like a whole book of little like comics inside of it. But yeah, I would just draw random stuff from there. But mostly, I was really into Dragon Ball at the time. One Piece. Yeah, I so one of my students, he really likes One Piece, so and I tried to get into it before in the past, and I was telling him that it was hard to get into it. I think I watched only 2 episodes or two or three, and then I stopped. But just recently, I was trying again to get back into it because, again, I was just hearing so many good things about it. So yeah, I started with the first episode, and of course, just got busy with life, and I stopped again. But I'm trying. We'll see. What is there, like 800 episodes to watch? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. 700. You're on 745. Yeah. So we'll see. I'm trying to watch the dubbed version just because it's just easier to watch, so I could do stuff while I'm listening. But yeah. Yeah, I heard really good things about that. There's so many good shows out there. Um, just don't have the time. Honestly, I'd hate to be like a kid or a college student right now because again, there's so many ways to like get entertained, right? Like whether it's TV shows, movies, or games, right? There's just too much entertainment out there. Too many distractions, you know what I mean? Like how do you ever get work done? You would have to like consciously just block all that stuff out. Because it's too, in my mind, it's too tempting to like want to like do all that stuff. Because it's fun stuff, you know? And when you're younger, you just don't, like most people don't have that self-control. Um, yeah. I would not get anything done if I was in your generation. Be playing games, watching shows. I don't know, like doing all sorts of weird stuff like that. In college, share this with, on the stream. In college, I didn't watch a movie for like 3, 4 years. I cut out everything. I didn't watch TV shows. I didn't watch TV in general for like 3 years at least while I was in art school. The only time I remember I watched TV was when my brother called me up in the morning and he's like, "Turn on the TV." And I was like, "What's going on?" And then that's when 9/11 happened. So then I remember that's when I like first turned the TV on in like years. And I was like, "Wow, what's going on here?" But I hear about because my teacher, I mean, sorry, my teacher, my sister is a teacher, right? Elementary school teacher. And they've been doing Zoom classes, right? Or classes on Zoom, sorry. And she tells me like how she can hear students like watching TV or playing games while during the class. And that would be me. That'd be me. I'd be playing games during the class. That would exactly be me if I was a kid right now. I'd be that kid, watching movies, doing whatever I want. Maybe drawing. Look, I hope I'd be drawing instead of just watching TV or Netflix. Sushi says, One Piece is at 900 now. 900 episodes. Crazy. Rafa, my name is Bernie. Bernie. Sushi says, oh yeah, I drew while in class. Yep. I think like every artist I know does that or did that. And while I'm in meetings, like any kind of meeting, I'm not talking about just at work, but yeah, like whatever meetings I'm in, I'll be like drawing too, noodling on the side. And again, I know a lot of artists that do that. In many ways, it helps me focus actually, because the meeting could be really boring, and if I'm not doing something, I'll just start zoning out. But doodling helps me actually, which some people probably wouldn't believe, but it does. Oh, your drawing program crash sucks. Yeah, I hate it when that happens. But that's why I got in a habit of saving like every other minute. Every layer I make, I just save it just in case. It's just automatic. Hey, by the way, if you guys could give me a like, I would appreciate that. Rafa's asking, Bernie, do you use a display tablet? I use a Cintiq. Yeah, so I guess that is a display tablet, right? Yeah, me personally, I can't go back to I mean, I can if I had to, right? But my preference is a Cintiq. I can't go back to or it's hard to go back to a tablet. Again, if I had to, sure, but it's just I'm just used to the Cintiq now. But I did start off with a regular tablet. Um, do I have social media? What do I have? IG, Instagram? I do, but man, I don't honestly I don't use it. Um, my ArtStation is not complete. I just started it and then I stopped adding images to it. Sorry, I'm pretty bad at that. Again, just been busy. Social media, what do I have? I don't even post anything on Facebook. I don't do any of that stuff. Sorry. You guys all should though. That's a great way to market yourself. I'm on LinkedIn, but again, I don't really update anything on that either. One day I will. Any extra time I have, I just try to spend time with my kids. That's all I do. So they don't hate me when they grow up. That's all I focus on are my kids. Whenever chance I get to play with them, hang out with them, even if it's like 10 minutes, I just hang out with my kids. So if you ever decide to have kids in the future, yeah, make sure you spend time with them. It's important. Or just get a dog. Rafa is asking, can you explain what a concept artist does? Yeah, sure. Concept artist is a person in the pipeline who is a visual communicator. So you're creating or coming up with the ideas, visual ideas for, let's say, a character or an environment or a weapon, anything that goes into a game or a movie. You're the designer. You're coming up with the designs for all that stuff. It could also be somebody who creates like mood boards for a scene or does the lighting and color thumbnails for a scene. Um, Again, to give visual, you're the visual communicator. You're showing the team and the art director and even investors visually in pre-production what the game or the movie shot could look like, right? You're bringing everyone onto the same page. Like, for example, when I'm talking about this character, let's say there's this alien character that we're trying to create. There's a narrative, a story, right? And they know what the story says. They know it's an alien. They know it's from planet whatever, but they have no idea what it looks like, right? So you're saying, here's what it could look like, right? And so you're getting everyone on the team on the same page. The writers now know what it looks like. The artists now know. The art director knows. The investors know. The marketing team knows, right? And now once this design is approved, it'll go down the pipeline where it gets modeled in 3D, where it gets animated, right? Where illustrations are made for it for marketing purposes, all that stuff. So again, for a concept artist, you're the idea guy, but not just the idea, you have to visually communicate what that idea looks like, right? That's your job, to come up with multiple variations and have the team narrow it down to what they want this character to look like in this situation, right? Does that make sense? Rafa says, because I want to enter in this area, but I have questions. I want to make 3D models, but I love illustration too. Yeah, so, sorry, give me a second. Yeah, so even with the concept art, more 3D stuff is being used to create concept, right? There's 3D concept artists as well now. Even though it's still kind of rare, they exist. And of course, a lot of concept artists are using 3D assets to create 2D concept art, where they um, use 3D assets and paint over them, right? Or do a mock-up to paint over, find lighting direction in 3D and then paint over it, right? They're doing all that stuff right now to create concept art. So, you know, you have that option as well. Um, and sometimes you do get the opportunity to do illustrations as a concept artist, depending on which studio you work for. Usually when it's a smaller studio, you may get more opportunities like that. But I would say, you know, try to narrow down what you want to do as much as possible. I understand it's hard because, like I said earlier, I'm somebody who has a lot of different interests, even just within art as well. So, I understand it's hard, but from my experience, I think it's a good thing to narrow down your scope of what you want to focus on within your field as quickly as possible. Mainly because you don't have enough time to be a master at everything, right? You're competing against so many people, so you want to narrow down your scope of what you're really interested in within this field, and be the best that you can be at that specific thing. That's my advice to most students. Again, once in a while you get like those genius students, right, who can do it all. That's not normal. That's only those are for the geniuses. You don't have to talk about to them about anything because they're already geniuses, right? We're not talking about those type of people. We're talking about normal people. um, us normal people have to choose what we focus on. We're not all Leonardo da Vinci's, right? Where we can invent, draw, paint, do all that stuff. Even though sometimes we wish we could, we just can't sometimes. So with the limited brain cells we have and the limited time we have, it's smarter to just focus on a few things, in my opinion. Unless you're a genius again, then you could do whatever you want. That's why when you often when you see geniuses, like those genius type people, when they give demonstrations and try to teach somebody how they do art, you often don't understand what they're doing because it's all in their head, right? They're horrible at teaching what they're doing because it takes a genius to do what they're doing. You get what I'm saying? You got to get someone who could dumb everything down to teach. You know what I mean? They're like, "You don't get this? This is how you do it." And you're like, "Wait a minute, how did you do that?" You guys don't get it? No, we don't get it. We don't have your brain. You don't see how I did this? Excuse me, my throat. It's all clogged up. I think I was yelling over the weekend. Um, what was I doing? Oh, I went to the park too, actually, yeah. So at the park, I remember I was yelling at my kids because they're going too far. They're chasing each other, and I was like trying to get their attention to come closer. And I think I messed up my throat. Hey, see you, Sashi. It was good having you here. Have a good day. Uh, Rafa says, Bernie, do you give closed classes to CG students? What does that mean? Like private classes? Or you mean one-on-one classes, like through CG Spectrum? Private or one-on-one through CG Spectrum? You're gonna get me in trouble, Rafa. Oh yeah, one-on-one. We have one-on-ones. We have group classes and one-on-ones at CG Spectrum. Obviously, the one-on-ones just cost more, but of course you get all the attention, right? With the group classes, it's not guaranteed. Like how many people are going to be in the class. There's a maximum amount. I think it's 4 now. So there can be never more than 4 students in one class. But if you think about it, when there's a max amount of students, like let's say there's 4 students in a class, you might get maybe like 15 minutes uh, per student of feedback. So it's not a lot. But it depends. Like if your level is high, like already pretty high, then I would say 15 minutes is enough to get feedback sometimes. Um, if your level is really low, then I would say like maybe you need to practice your foundation more on your spare time, right? Instead of joining the class. If it's that low, because then again, if it's super low, there's not too much I can do to help you. I mean, I can still help you, but I'm just saying it's not ideal. Um, yeah. And if your level is pretty high, which is rare to be honest, for your student levels to be really high, but if it is, then you could self-guide yourself, right? So 15 minutes is more than enough time, because I just tell you, I point stuff out, and then you get it, right? Um, but with most students, they're in the middle range, so um, yeah, having a one-on-one class really does help. Just make sure you have enough time to focus on the class, because I've had students where they would do the one-on-one class and we meet and there's like they barely did any work. And I'm like, "What do you want me to do during this class? We went over what you did in like 20 minutes. We got like 40 minutes left. What do you want to do? Because you didn't do enough work. Like what is there to talk about? You want me to lecture you? You want me to say a motivational speech to get you to work? Yeah, so if you have enough time to do like focus on work, then one-on-ones can be great. Yeah. It's a way to advance quicker, if you're ready. You know what I mean? if you have the time. But again, I've seen all sorts of different students. Some students are working full-time jobs while they're trying to do this. It just doesn't, it's not ideal. And life happens, they get busy and all sorts of things happen, you know. Just trying to add some details to make it look more interesting. Rafa says, I'm working to buy the concept artist course. Cool. Yeah. I mean, I wish I had courses like this when I was in school, you know, or coming out of high school. Uh, all this stuff is awesome because, again, the best part about it is having a mentor who's a professional in the industry. I mean, that opportunity didn't exist before. So basically, what it does is it's like I help you guys cut out all the BS, right? Anything that you don't need to know, I try to cut all of that out, cut the fat out, right? And then I have you guys focus on what's most important. Um, yeah, in terms of like how to build up your portfolio, like what to focus on, um, things like that. And of course, doing this all online is awesome too. You could do this anywhere in the world as long as you can speak some English, right? So it's awesome. In the meantime, again, just focus on your foundational stuff. That's my advice to you. Focus on your foundations. Do a bunch of figure drawings. Like, understand anatomy, right? The basic stuff. You should understand anatomy as much as you can. Um, don't start the school until you're really ready, is what I would say, with the foundational stuff. Or else, you know, you're just going to be struggling to you don't want to start learning like basics anatomy stuff like during the course. That's not what it's about. Because then it's kind of a waste of time, you know? Rafa asks, did you already work for a game company? What do you mean? Do I work for a game company? Oh yeah, I've been working in the industry for 20 years now. Long time. I know it doesn't look like it here that I but but yeah, I've been working for 20 years since my first job was in 2001. November of 2001, I remember. That was my first job as a concept artist. Now I work now I'm an art director, so you could like, that's my excuse for like my rusty concept skills. I mean, they're not the best, I admit. Um because, when you stop drawing as much, like as a concept artist, you're drawing every day, right? Like 8 hours a day at least, right? So your skills are going to be sharp. But when you're an art director, you're not drawing as much at all. I'm just doing paint overs. I'm like looking at reference, like providing reference to the concept artist, making corrections, right, typing out like notes, right, on what to do, you know what I mean? Things like that. I still do like paint overs again. I focus more on the more important like character stuff and environment stuff um, that need like specific feedback, right? So you get rusty when you don't draw as much, for sure. That happens. So if you really, really, that's why they talk about this. Like, if you really like the drawing aspect, like producing art, then don't be an art director. For me, I liked it. I got over the whole drawing, producing stuff. I did that for so long. I'm like, I did everything I wanted to do pretty much, so I have no desire to do more of it. I'm done. And I like telling people what to do, so that's better. Half joking there, but partially true. I like directing more and like helping, like providing the artists what they need to do like their best job, right? That's more of what I'm into now. And like being an art director, it's like never boring. I think I was getting bored of doing concept art for a while. And my personality again gets bored very easily. But so far, being an art director, never a dull moment. There's so many different things to think about and learn from. Yeah, it's not boring at all. Communicating with different teams, it's all interesting to me. So yeah, like all the guys that I work with, the guys I give art direction on, they're pretty much all better concept artists than I am. Yeah, that's why they're doing their job. They're able to do a better job than me. If I could do a better job than them, I'd be doing what they're doing. They're the young blood. They know what's cool. I'm old. Young bloods coming in. They tell me like what I do is like not cool enough. They're like, no, that's not cool these days. You gotta do this. Okay. So I gotta listen to them. Take what they say in consideration, you know. Um, oh yeah, I am 42 actually. Yeah, it sounds so old. Still mentally very, very young. Very immature still, but physically I'm 42 years old. Mentally about in my 20s probably. Still stuck in my 20s. Still in denial about being old. All right, Rafa, it was good chatting with you. I'll see you around, all right? Have a good week. We got a few, maybe 5 minutes left. Anyone else have questions or want to chat? Please feel free to throw it in the chat. Anything goes. Anything goes. Yeah, it was good talking. See ya. Yeah, I'll talk to you later, man. I'll talk to you later, Rafa. See ya. You too. Have a good week. Adding some details in the face. Now let's throw some last minute highlights. Make things pop a little bit more. Oh, did the music stop? You don't like hearing, you're uncomfortable with silence? All right. You don't like listening to your own voice, Martin? Dude, Martin, you're still here? What's wrong with you? Lurking? Oh boy. Hey, what's up, Blasphemer? You just need 5 minutes. What, by the way, why is your how did you choose your name, the Blasphemer 666? How do you end up choosing that? I'm just curious. Share it with us, the story. You wanted just the Blasphemer without 666, but the devil made you do it, huh? The devil made you add the 666 at the end? It just controlled your fingers? I'm just kidding. Oh, is that a Warhammer 40k reference? Cool, I didn't know that. I'm just messing with you. I was just curious. Why 666? Alright, we're gonna call this done, even though it's not. We'll do something else next week. Alright, everyone? Yeah, it does kind of fit Blasphemer. That's why I was curious to why. Anyways, thanks for joining this Monday morning. I hope you guys all have a good week. I hope you guys all work super, super hard on whatever you're working on. And yeah, don't forget to have fun while you're doing it, okay? I'll see you guys next Monday. Okay, see ya. Hey, Brianna. See ya. Bye.